In this video, I'll be going through the 48 laws of power, and today I'll be going through law number 31, law number 32, and law number 33. Law number 31 says, control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. I personally used this law a while ago. I have a friend, and whenever me and this friend go out to eat restaurants, I tend to choose where to sit. This is because I like to have a decent view of my surroundings, so I'll pick a spot that achieves that. One day my friend brought this up and said, "Hey, I've noticed that whenever we go out to eat, you're the one who chooses where we eat. Can I choose next time?" So I said, "That's fine by me." So next time we went out, I identified 2 spots which would still be strategic enough to give me a good view of the place. I don't know why I do this. I'm not a shady guy. I just like to be aware of my surroundings. Anyway, once I had these 2 spots, went into the restaurant and I say to my friend, "Would you like to sit over there by the window, or would you like to sit over there facing the door?" My friend decided, and there were no complaints. In the mind of my friend, they had chosen, they had selected, and it had been up to them. But really, behind the scenes, I had limited the decision between 2 options which benefited me anyway. Win-win situation. Now, whenever I go to a restaurant with this particular friend, I do the same thing, and there has never been a complaint ever since. Another example is when companies let you decide how to pay for a service. It's normally a decision between paying a small amount in installments or paying a larger amount all in one go. This subconsciously makes people believe that they are the ones deciding what to do. And people like this feeling of freedom. And when they feel free, they are more likely to decide to do something. And most people who are faced with this choice decide to pay in installments rather than pay the large amount all at once. The company couldn't care less. They don't care. They are receiving money anyway. This law also leverages the power of contrast. £10 per month doesn't sound anywhere near as bad as £120 at one go. And when 2 things like this are next to each other, but there's contrast between them, it always makes the smaller option sound more inviting. But as we all know, it isn't a better deal at all. If anything, it costs more to pay in small installments over a long period of time because of interest. But in the moment, we feel like we're saving money, and we feel like we've made this decision all on our own. But it doesn't matter whether we feel we've acted freely, whether we feel we've acted independently, whether we feel we've acted of our own volition. We are deciding between cards that the company has dealt out, and ultimately they will have the last laugh. The beauty of this law is that you make it seem that people are acting freely of their own accord, when really they are merely choosing between a set of choices that you have pre-selected for them. The freedom is not real. It's an illusion of freedom. If this law sounds evil, if it sounds sinister, if it sounds underhand, that's because it is. But you need to be aware of it, because in life, people are going to try and do this. And in the worst cases, they're not even going to know that they're doing it. So if somebody's giving you a choice of things, and it sounds like you have only a limited selection, say A or B, pause, stay calm, and remind yourself that the alphabet has other letters other than A and B. Law number 32, play to people's fantasies. The reality of life is that nothing worth achieving can be achieved without struggle and without difficulty. This is a harsh truth, and most people don't want to hear it. People would rather hear that they can achieve success without sacrifice, without struggle, and without difficulty. This is one of the most appealing fantasies that you can sell to people. If you can truly make them believe that they can achieve happiness, success, luxury by putting in minimal effort, you'll be able to convince them to do almost anything. This law is the foundation of some of the most debilitating acts known to man. If you think about some of the most degrading acts which you can think of, at their foundation, they all promise to deliver the pleasures of life without putting in any effort. Pornography gives people the pleasures of having a relationship without actually having to put in the work, commitment, and patience of being in a relationship. Gambling promises people wealth without the hard work and dedication required to earn money. Drugs give people quick highs without the genuine pleasure that comes from working hard and chasing one's goals. These three things I've mentioned, pornography, gambling, and drugs, are each industries which are worth billions. The people running them understand law number 32. People will do anything when you play to their fantasies. By the way, if you are struggling with any of those things which I've just mentioned, I have a whole chapter in my book which I dedicate to overcoming such acts. Whether you struggle with scrolling mindlessly through your phone, wasting too much time on YouTube or pornography, I have tools which I've tried and tested myself which can help you overcome. The link for the book is in the description, and I'm giving away the first chapter for free. The most unfortunate thing about this law is that it is at its most powerful when people are at rock bottom. When people are sad, miserable, and depressed, they are far more likely to seek temporary pleasures in things which are only going to make their situation much worse. And the reason for this is that it's much easier to play to people's fantasies when the one thing they're looking for is a fantasy. If someone's heartbroken, they're going to jump at anything which promises to give happiness, laughter, and peace. It's just how human beings work. And unfortunately, this sensitive, delicate part of human nature has been exploited by people who do not care about you. This law is certainly one to be aware of and one to avoid. Corporations and industries will try and sell you the dream that you can achieve success, pleasure, happiness quickly. That's not true. Real success, real joy, real achievement cannot exist without discipline, sacrifice, and hard work. And if anybody tries to tell you otherwise, that's pure fantasy, pure fiction, and pure falsehood. Law number 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Another way of saying this is discover each man's weakness. Once a single weakness has been discovered in a person, it can be used to control their entire being. As evil as this sounds, it's unfortunately very true. People's weaknesses are used against them all the time without them even realizing. To avoid this happening to you, you must make a sincere effort to become aware of your own weaknesses. Do some cold, hard introspection. Are you impatient? Do you have a temper? Are you easily won over by flattery? Whatever it might be, make sure you identify it so that you are one step ahead of anybody who tries to exploit it. A personal weakness which I used to have is I used to dislike being wrong. To be honest, I still dislike being wrong. But back then, it used to be so much worse. If I was in an argument or a debate, I could spend hours trying to prove that I was correct. I could go without food, go without sleep, even skip classes just because I was engaged in a heated debate and I wanted to prove that I was right. Now, imagine how easy it would have been if somebody wanted to distract me or waste my time or just have me not pay attention to something. All they would have to do is purposely get into a debate or an argument with me and disagree with me. Even if they agreed with what I was saying, as long as they disagreed, they would have me wrapped around their little finger. And there are people who do this. They play devil's advocate just to get people to argue, just to get people to disagree, just to increase people's temper so that they can have them exactly where they want them. And the worst part about this is I wouldn't know that I was being controlled. I probably would get to the end of such a debate having won, pat myself on the back and think, yeah, I showed him, when really I was the one who would have lost. I have now advanced and those times are behind me. Thank goodness. Here is another example. Imagine you have told a lie. And this is not just a white lie. This is a deep, deep, serious lie. a lie that could get you in prison. And nobody knows about this lie except one person. That lie becomes your weakness. That lie becomes your thumbscrew. The person who knows the truth of what's going on can pretty much get you to do whatever they want to do, simply by reminding you that they know a piece of information that you don't want other people to find out. In fact, this is exactly what happens in a TV show called Suits. If you don't know what Suits is and you're watching a video on the 48 Laws of Power, what are you doing? Go and watch Suits, at least up until the part where, I can't even say where because I don't want to ruin it for you, but at some point you will know where to stop. The show kind of goes downhill and it's just drama between characters, but up to a certain point, it's very good. One of the crucial aspects of that show is that one of the main characters, Mike Ross, has not been to law school, but he somehow manages to get a job at one of the best law firms in the country. He has a friend called Trevor who knows that he hasn't been to law school. He's one of the very few people who know. And this friend ends up being his enemy, and Trevor is able to ruin Mike's life, or nearly ruin his life, time and time again, simply because he knows this one lie that Mike is trying to hide. He knows his weakness. He knows his thumbscrew. In a nutshell, know thyself. Take time to identify flaws in your character. There's nobody who has a flawless character. And once you've identified them, stay vigilant of people or situations who might try to take advantage of those weaknesses. Only then can you make yourself immune from attempts to take advantage of your weaknesses. That is law number 31, law number 32, and law number 33 from the 48 Laws of Power. Join me next time for the next 3 laws. If you enjoyed this video, you will enjoy the other videos I've made on the 48 Laws of Power. You will find them in this playlist. And if you want some freebies, make sure you click in the description below. I've got a couple of things that I know you will like. Until then, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so that you are alerted whenever a new video is released. Take care.